I don't have everything up yet. Hang on here. That's weird. Okay. Uh, there we go. Didn't have the little follower there. Uh, all right. So let's try this. So puzzle. So immediately look, capture, back rank. That looks like it. Puzzle rating 1565. That seems a little high. That looks like the like one of those 400 rated ones that you start Puzzle Rush on. Okay, maybe a little higher than that since you had to sack first, so like 700. Let's see. Um, so we're black. Take check. You could defend. So how do we get something good out of this? So if we check here, we force him up, and then we're across, and we've got mate. Okay, well he's tucked into a corner. I see this. I really want an attack on that diagonal. So the queen here attacks on that diagonal. Then is there anything that can get in the way? Well, you can throw a pawn up. You can capture en passant, and then you can move the bishop in front. But it's attacked multiple ways. You can throw a knight in front, but that doesn't seem to stop it. I don't see any way to stop it. So there. Capture en passant. He throws the knight in front. Yeah. Uh, okay, so he's forking these two pieces. If we were just defensive, we can move over and make sure we're defending it while defending. Oh, this piece is also forked, which can also attack back and capture, though it's defended. So at best you can trade. Um, Sort of looking at the pieces on the board now to be aggressive. We have a discovered attack here on the queen as well. There's a lot going on here. Um, Check, back, take, mate. Ooh, that's nice. It's nice when you can see checkmate because that's going to be the solution if you can see a force mate. You don't have to look any further. If you just have like winning material, then there might be something better, and you have to keep looking. Okay. The rook is defended by the bishop and the queen. Backing it up. King is on a dark square, so our bishop cannot check. We can check this way. Force him to want to force the king off to one of these squares. If he goes to the light square, then the light square bishop can get in. If he goes to a back rank square, then the rook cannot go because of the bishop. That doesn't work. Sack the rook. Can I get anything out of that? Check. Not really. Huh. This is a trickier one. I actually have to think about this one. Well, if we check and he goes to g1, then we can get another check in here, forcing him back to the back rank. Take the pawn, or like bring in the bishop, that'd be good. So we can't go, that square doesn't look, well, and check, yeah, that square doesn't look good, so if he goes to the light square, that doesn't look good, not with the bishop. I think that has to be it. It's always anticlimactic when you look at all the variations and think it works, and then they just throw a piece in the way because that's technically the best move by computer standards. Well, that's a check. We got a lot of pressure there. His check here as well was defended. Oh, actually, that's defended as well by the queen. That's also a check. Defended two ways. Of course, in all these situations, any way to sack the queen? Anyway, no, no. Actually, but I don't have to sack the queen because this pawn is pinned. So I can just take. Probably check this direction is the right way to go. Oh. Actually, I thought about that more, apparently. You can take here and win a pawn, but you can't do it with check. Otherwise, you just trade off the queens. I'm not sure about... Yeah, that didn't seem forcing enough. Check, move him off. I guess... Actually, I don't know which one's better. Oh, duh. I don't know why I didn't even consider that. It'd be nice if I need to figure out a way to work on those blind spots. Sometimes you just don't see obvious things. All right, so there's the obvious check. There's a lot of different options for moving. Check, cross. Oh, okay, so we got a skewer. I was trying to figure out a way to move this king away from the bishop. It wasn't obvious, But we got a skewer here. Oh, that's not it. I guess you can move the king over. Jumping the gun. Need to actually calculate the tactics. Oh. What would I want to do here? Well, let's look at the check again. So I can move one of those two squares or one of these two squares. It goes down, there's not really a follow-up. I mean, I could take... King takes bishop skewer, king moves up. Pawn moves. I feel like there needs to be more there to explain like what continues. Because moving up, you move the pawn, and then you have to choose: go for the stop the pawn, or protect the rook. If all you did was king moves up, take the rook, king takes, and you move the pawn, the king will come back, take this pawn, and it should be a draw. All right, how do we make something happen here? Move the king up, the rook has to move back in some capacity so that it protects the b1 square. If the rook moved down, say to d7, then just rook b1 would be mate. He has to stay somewhere on this back rank. You can move the bishop over, attacking the knight. Knight would have to attack the bishop to prevent a discovery, although you could have double check at that point. I don't know if I'm barking up the right tree, but... Oh, okay, well, well, that's clever. That's actually a clever defense I didn't consider, is if you take this, if you take the rook, then king takes your rook. I mean, you can win a pawn, take that pawn, take the rook, but I imagine the puzzle wants us to get more out of this. Move the bishop in. Yeah. Okay. 1384. All right. Sometimes I don't know about you, puzzle ratings. This looks pretty good. Just double check that there isn't a checkmate in here. Because this king is wide open, and there's a lot of attackers. You could potentially move off, but no, it has to just be taking the queen. Uh, all right, so it's attacking. So, I mean, the first look checks. Are there any? There actually might not be any checks whatsoever here. Uh, there's a capture that is surely not the way to go. There's a capture here, which probably isn't good. You can attack a rook, but it's not a fork. Oh, that's a tricky one. I mean, that's very dangerous. Check. Huh. Yeah, there just isn't any defense of that. That's subtle. I mean, it's from a practical standpoint in a game, this is what you would play. Even if you had no time to calculate, you just play attack, move into this safe square, attack the rook, keep your pressure up. But in terms of a puzzle, it's really subtle to think there would be that strong of a threat. Ooh, they got the pin of the queen. Ooh. If you take, the knight will checkmate. And even if it weren't checkmate, it would be a fork. But since this rook is here, there's no escape. So you cannot take the bishop. However, you can check. Can't capture. This square is guarded. Only move. Check. Uh, pawn. Uh, and then you take with the bishop. He has to take with the bishop. You take with the queen now because taking with the queen is check. There we go. All right. So maybe you look at that and there's no way to break through there. Um, there's two protectors on the d8 square, so any sort of trick opening up this line doesn't really work. I wouldn't think. It doesn't look like a position that immediately has a strong tactic, but he is very active, so it's not surprising. It just doesn't look like one. Uh, Hmm. Not sure what kind of a move I'd be looking for here. No pins, no forks. Like looking for attacks, there really isn't anything to move this bishop to attack. That's the only thing, and obviously that's just not gonna work. Um, and it can attack there. Moving a rook to attack, it can't really attack anything. You can move the queen to attack on a diagonal, but what's that gonna do? If you look at the most forcing thing, take with the bishop has to take with the rook. Moving the king and not recapturing seems silly. Um, you just win a rook, so that doesn't work. Um, does moving that rook out of position do anything? And I'm stalling out on this one. Wow. I'm gonna take a hint. So it is with the bishop. So you do take, and then what? Um, oh, because the rook is now pinned after that. That's what wasn't clicking. So here, rook is pinned, so we can infiltrate the seventh rank. And then you don't have time to add a defender. The queen can't escape and defend, and it was the defender. So we're removing the defender by moving the rook up. That can't recapture. So, all right. Okay, so we opened up that attack. Where can we go? What can we do? If we take, he takes back, and we got nothing out of that. We can take here. That doesn't seem very forcing. Now, if the queen moves, that takes with check, so this pin doesn't work. The most natural move in a game would just be to take the pawn with the queen. That's not really a puzzle move. Um, there's the take sitting there. Take, 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 check, take, and that's losing. Take, take. Uh, take, check, take. Yeah. Take, he returns check, and then you take. That's for a while. I wasn't actually seeing that the queen was just sitting there undefended. Uh, all right. We're white. So what do we got? Well, we got a check here. That's protected. That's protected. That's gonna be mate in two. Oh no, I didn't see the escape square, but it was still right. Oh no, that's not right. Oh, yeah, there we go. Uh, check. You can move back. If he moves down, check. Move down. Check. He just moves the defender in. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. This actually seems like it's going to be a pawn move. Because rook moves don't seem very fast. Pawn, take, take, take. Seems good, but doesn't seem puzzly. What else could it be? What? It's not that pawn move, so it wants me to move the rook, but oh yeah, I don't know why I didn't see that. Ah, man, vision not great today. There's no way to bring the rook in to defend because the king is also attacking that square. Uh, let's see if we can have any better luck. Actually, hang on here. So actually, I had a really fun game the other day. I've uh, where I've mentioned I've messed around with e4 openings in the short games, and one of the openings that I played around with is in order to avoid playing Sicilian main lines is a Smith-Morra gambit. Um, so it kind of looks like that. You sack a pawn, you speed up your development, open it up a little bit. Um, that really avoids the common structures for a Sicilian. So there was another opening that I applied the same ideas to and applied to a game. So playing 1d4, I get 1e5. Now taking, I would say, is actually the best move. However, yeah, it can be tricky. Um, you can be all opening trappy, and rather than let them play their silliness, I want them to play my silliness. um, they respond with 1e4, turning it into a center game. Takes, and then c3, which is like a Smith Morra, but it's a Danish gambit. Um, I want to double check the names here because the Danish gambit d takes c3, but then there's the real Danish gambit, bishop c4. So sack two pawns, get this crazy diagonal on here. Now the response that is like the most challenging would be knight f6. I think opponent played a move I was not really looked at yet because I haven't done this much. Queen g5. So the idea being, you're just attacking that g3 pawn, and I took a little bit to calculate out, and it just seemed like knight f3 had to be good because if knight f3, attack the queen, queen takes on g2. Rook G1, uh, Queen H3 only real move. Now, not only do we have the bishop development, we've got the knight here on F3 coming into the attack. We've got a rook on now an open G file, and all you have is your queen on H3. Um, so I went in for it. He continued with his plan, and you see the bar off to the left go way up with the take. So I already have the advantage after Queen G5, but now it's gotten really bad. Rook G1, Queen H3, and then I thought for a little bit again, just to reaffirm what my plan was at this point. And I picked a reasonable option. It wasn't the best option. So the best option here is actually Rook takes G7. If Bishop takes G7, Bishop takes G7, you can get that Rook back at any time. Oh, wait, I missed a move. That wasn't the move. I skipped ahead. I missed I forgot about one tactic, which I did play and find. So there's a tactic here. I played Bishop takes F7 check. Idea being if you take, well, that's going to be good. So can't take. Just lose a pawn, lose the ability to castle. Now your king is just disgusting. Not exactly how you want to be. So this is what I was thinking. And best move, rook takes, bishop takes. You can get the rook. You've got these bishops in the attack. You've got the queen lined up. You got the knight to come in. You can bring the knight to c3. The world is your oyster. But I went bishop takes, so I went the other order. He took. I was thinking like rook on the 7th. Like, come on, win a pawn and have a rook on the 7th. That's what I was thinking, and you can see 2.61, still very good. And one more blunder, which is a natural one. You see there's the attack on the knight here. So he doesn't want to lose a piece, so he tries to save the piece. I think knight f6 is better. I have to think about how exactly that looks, but anyway. And now there's a combination. I forget how long I spent on it. Not that long. Knight g5 looks like about a minute. And now we're threatening the queen, and if he moves the queen, which he does, he takes on h2, which is a nice conclusion because the whole idea is black being greedy and grabbing pawns is the problem. That's mate. Pawn's pinned. Knight attack. E8 is covered by the bishop. So 12 moves in a ridiculous pawn structure at the end. So that was really fun. I have noticed thinking about bringing up games that are fun and interesting and had good results. Made me realize something a little weird about trying to work through like anxiety, and having worked through depression before, and always having to kind of keep it in mind because you're never really free completely of that. Is that to work through depression, you want to look at those good things. It's like, oh, see, this went well, this went well. See these good things and focus on those things to counteract the idea of focusing on almost like confirmation bias on the negatives, where those are the things you remember if you're depressed. Anxiety, though, when it's based in fear of failure and looking bad, you want to be comfortable with the negatives and be able to bring them up and talk about them, show them, and share them. And those are in conflict, and it's really annoying. But I guess we'll see if we have any success or failure here as we go into a game. 10-minute game. All right. What are we going to get? Black. E, or other. D. All right, Benoni time. Are you going to get the accepted Benoni, the closed Benoni, closed Benoni? Is he going to open it up by taking? No, we're closing this right up. We'll attack immediately. Okay, now that he's defended, we'll close it up. Bishop, castle. Nice and easy. Now that his knight is here, if he wants to like castle queenside and go on the offensive, I think I should be faster. Um, yeah, the king side is the closed one. I need to look at this more, the knight c3 move, because after you have the c4 and you have, closed like that. Um, but here, this is just open. So I think I should be able to just push up and gain space on the queen side because he's not really. Okay, now got to look at the plan a little bit. So, yeah, we can have some moves around. I can push up this way, gaining deep into the territory, and then maneuver a knight in. That might be good. It's a little dangerous when you capture from the d pawn and open up um, white to their d pawn, but I think that would be okay. Reconnecting these passed pawns here on the queen side and being able to barrel through. There's developing the bishop, but I think I probably want to bring in the knight first. I don't know if I want to maneuver the d knight. Probably develop this knight and then up. I probably want to do that first. So one of the problems is, recapture, open this file, and have pawn undefended. Uh, this doesn't look like the strongest pawn structure here, but it's probably okay because it's on the king side. But it also doesn't look like a very dangerous push here. So I think my king's quite safe. Okay. Now, actually, if I push, take, knight has to move. Can't move there, can't move there, can't move there. Has to move back or over. He can move to a2 and attack the pawn. I can move this pawn, a pawn up. It does open up that diagonal in, which may not be the best. Yeah, let's do this. So we're going to jump in here. Interesting. So if he takes, then you sort of create that scenario. Um, ooh, cool. This bishop is god awful, so if I can trade it for his good bishop, and I can maneuver in over. So that's definitely what I'm doing. I'm going to be able to jump right on in here. No, he can move. Actually, no, he can't because the bishop's covering that square. These knights are monsters. Yeah, I don't need to trade my great knight for a terrible bishop. Ah. Now, furthering our plan, where do we go from here? Maybe bring the bishop up, rook across, and push through. Um, but it's unclear if I should move here or here, d7 or b7. It kind of blocks the queen in, but as it is, the rook is blocked in. If I push immediately, that's no good. Oh, that will protect the pawn. Yeah. Okay, so that'll protect the b5 pawn if I push a5, and then I can roll it. So he moves back, trying to help defend that slow roll. But that just makes him more passive. So I can bring my rook over. But do I want it on the C or B file? Yeah, if I push this pawn up, I could sack the pawn, either opening it up, but no, the knight would just recapture. That'd be a waste of time. Uh, or do I bring the A rook over and cover both of these? Or do I want to keep it on what I hope for an open file? Let's do that. We can also maneuver this knight a little bit more. Uh, oh, if I left it on C, I could have moved the knight to A. Oh, there's also sack potentials here. Oh, I should have put it on the C file. Do I move it back? Because check, take, check, back. Uh, and that. Oh, well, I'm getting a little low on time. I'm going to have to keep moving it. Okay, so that bishop looks good, but it's not. I'd rather have my bishop on the board. So I'm going to, now that he's moved it, which I was actually kind of counting on. Oh, I don't know what that was. So pawn moves, we'll close it off and move the king in. Okay, so that was the plan. Okay. check. He's gonna run over, so we don't want to allow that. Check, take, check, run. How can we cut a square? Yeah. Yes. Zero blunders is also good to see. A couple mistakes, but that's uh, that was one that was complicated. So kind of expecting blunders, and to see we made it through fairly blunder without doing too badly on mess ups. We will see some mess ups, but that's pretty good. So let's check that one out. Yeah, I'm on analysis. You can do it. Come on, analysis. I don't know what's. Whoop. Oh, shoot. Layout menu. Let's try reloading this. Okay, it is hanging. Let's try self-analysis on this one. All right, so we're in book. And then here is a response. So let's see, E4. All right. Yeah. So the idea on A6 is that I want to play B5. So like, I think A4 potentially, but you don't necessarily want to do that if you want a castle queenside. Hmm. I did notice that my opponent was kind of back and forth on attack or defend, and didn't really commit to either. I was saying I had a. See, I like my position here. B5. Yeah, B5. 3. D7. Oh, I wanted uh, knight H7 for that little maneuver. I was not looking at that as an option. Still pretty good. He took. Knight H5, it likes. B8. I didn't do knight H5 immediately. I should have. It likes that too. Queen B7, F6. So Queen B7. So that was just faster. Even though this knight is great, it doesn't really do much with the attack. So it's still a really good position, still a good move, but could have been faster, I guess is the engine critique. D7. Wow, we're pretty accurate here. F5, the absolute madman. There's no way I'm playing F5. What? F5's to try and bring the bishop into the game, I guess? That's crazy. There's A5. There's B4. Oh, no, not yet. B4. Take. Take. Can't move the knight because um, rook A1 is mate. So that's not an option. I actually found the engine recommended defense. The other one is sacking the queen. Or playing queen F2. Gotta just take that. Now here was the hardest move of the game. And I didn't find the right move. Queen A7 is what the engine suggests. The other is B3. So I took. It seems pretty happy with that, though. And queen can't recapture. Oh, the problem with the take in my idea is that the king just moves. He doesn't recapture. So conceptually, my attack, what happened was what I was playing. So I took the knight to remove the defender of c3 so that I could play c3. c3 protects the d2 square so that rook a1 would be mate. So if he takes, I retake, and then he has to somehow deal with this. I'm not sure how. And then he just played pass, so he didn't defend it, and checkmate. Um, the engine line here, there's a couple mate and fours. One is the king b1 to prevent it. Um, and then you just take the pawn. So one line is take the pawn check, king c1 again, rook a8, and and then just sacking the queen because there's no stopping it. The other line is sacking the queen immediately. King b1, b to a8, b takes, rook a1 check. Oops. Rook 8 to a2 checkmate. So once he took that knight, it was a forced mate. So wow, that was a really good one. Stark contrast to the puzzles. All right. All right, we got the white pieces. Let's go, go, go. Attack. No French defense for you. All right. Pawn or knight? Pawn, all right. Proper defense. All right. All right. Now. So looking at these silly options, like take have a queen. Uh, is there anything there? Nah. Huh. Wait, there might be something here. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Take the pawn, knight takes, right? And then knight takes attacking the queen. Now in that position, the knight and queen are doubling up on c3. Um, so the queen would have to. So when you attack the queen would have to kind of. Actually, no, there's no way to. So if he moves up, I can then take. Anything he can threaten? Oh, he can check. No, can't check because the knight's protecting. That's a. Let's. Oh, okay. This feels like it can't be right, but it's hilarious, so let's do it. This would be awesome if I found this over the board. Uh, oh, he can go there. That creates chaos. I, okay, and then I attack the queen. He takes on G. I move H to G. Oh, I hung the knight. Oh, God. This is terrible. We're gonna. We're so lost that we're just gonna try and quick checkmate and then resign. I didn't realize that was hanging, and neither did he. And then he took, and then chaos. Okay, we're done. I wonder if the I wonder um if there's any merit there. Queen G5 was the only thing that didn't work, but it still might have worked with a different defense, a different combination there. Let's see. So, all right. So did we? Was it right? Oh, it was right. Oh my God, it was right. I just didn't do it right. Oh no. Wait, where was the big advantage? What did I miss? Hang on, hang on, hang on. What did I miss? Wait, what was the move? What was the move here? Wait, what? Oh, I could have just taken immediately. And then, yeah. Ah, I needed to do it a move sooner. All right. All right. All right. Before we take... Oh, he's thinking. He's thinking. I guess he's not familiar with the... Oh, yes, please. Yeah, from here. So we've gotten rid of our bad bishop. Temporarily sacking a pawn. Now we can queen c2 right now. Probably good, I think. Alternative there, I could have moved the knight to g6. I was looking at sort of a retreat back, so you know, bring up the queen, control this area a bit more, and then develop the knight out. Use a lot of time here on the opening. Ugh, taking some time. All right, that doesn't concern me in the least. Now, do I go to F? I think I go to F, right? Yeah. I'm looking just great. If I take with the bishop, he just wants to come in here and then attack here or something. So let's just, say no. Don't have to rush to it. Also don't need to take that. If you take, he comes back in. He's trying to defend this, even though he can't because I've got two attackers. Yeah, there's no way to dislodge this pawn, so this is going to be really annoying. Now I can develop and take the pawn. I'll be able to castle on the next move. Yeah. Okay. Slow down a little bit and let's double check what our options are. Um, I could bring my knight in here now. If he takes, kind of brings the bishop out in, okay, maybe not the best position, so, but it removes his knight. But I don't know if that really um, offers me much, but it does kind of move this kind of bad knight into a different, trades it off for a decent knight. Um, I can bring the rook out, and then he'll have to use a move to defend it. I think that's a good idea. So that will just provoke him to play b3 and prevent him from playing b4 later to sort of weaken the pawn. Or prevent him from, developing his bishop until he does. Unless he moves the rook over, which I don't know if that's the right way to go there. He could do that in order to prepare bishop and e4 as an option. You could look at doing that. Now I could look just to, this is probably a good plan for me once I get castled, is just push this e pawn. Because if we do a pawn break here, we've got a really good passed pawn. And we've got all our pieces here centralized. Okay. Okay, so he moved his knight back, so he's going to relocate. So I probably want to preempt that. Yeah. So we'll continue with our plan, but once I move rook e8 and he plays knight d2, I'm going to have to play knight d6. Okay, so that's fine. I have to relocate a little bit, but that'll be good. The important thing is we have this. Well, that's weird. Okay, that's just a weak pawn now. I can just go attack it. What? Now he can't move back and defend it. All right, so now I can just move. Oh, he's got the bishop there. I just play the pawn. He can't move back unless he trades it off. So off he goes. Move my rook, and then I can push this pawn. Now, if I push it, I don't know that I can very quickly gain the defenders that I need. So if I push it up, he can bring his rooks. I can double my rooks. I could also do a break over here. I think I'm going to do this break over here. Okay. And I can push this pawn, have the option of relocating. Well, he just removed his defender. Okay. Let's see. Can we do anything tricky? If we attack, he takes the bishop and he's still attacking mine. So I can't do that. So that forces him to trade off. We've got the passed pawn, and we're up a pawn. Well, actually, if he once he recaptures, we'll be. Oh, he goes that way. Hmm. Interesting. I can take. You can. Yeah. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, my brain got mixed up with everything. I meant to take here. Got a very simple plan here. We're bringing this around. Oh, that is the wrong choice. All right. Actually, I guess it's. Yeah, I think that's the wrong choice. It's hard to say for sure. Um, all right. How do we finish this? I guess we go here. Yeah. I guess we bring the queen down to f4 to block in the king, and then so queen, pawn, rook, pawn, and then there's no stopping mate. I guess he checks because what else is he going to do? And then probably just move the pawn because what else are you going to do? That'll resign. Yeah. Okay, let's just make sure we get this right. So check. You can move here or here. In both cases, that's mate. No, that one's not mate yet. And then you can go here, come down, and that's mate. I wonder what the computer thinks of my sacking a pawn in the opening. I think I've seen that um, Queen E2 move before, but I didn't play. Just take and sack the pawn. A lot of thought here. Probably shouldn't have that selected just so I try and prevent misclick. I thought he was going to move more quickly than this. There's only two legal moves. Unless he's just running the clock. Okay. There we go. That was nice. So, what do we got? Will analysis like us this time? All right. We did it. Oh, a little wild. Looks. Ooh, we had an opportunity there. Other than that, we looked pretty good. Oh, I missed something. So that's where it. Uh, ooh, I wonder where I missed this. That's really early. Played knight over, but I think that's acceptable. It does give me an advantage after queen to defend the pawn. All right. Oh, what was the move here? What? What was the? That we could trap the queen after queen c8. In order to escape. Has to play. So if he if he castles, then knight f5, attacking the queen two different ways. There are no exit squares. Yeah, I didn't see that. I think that would be a situation where find a good move, find a better move. So I saw the option. I'm like, well, if he goes there, I take, and that pawn is indefensible. I immediately get it back, and I look great. Um, I could have just won immediately. This is a rare one where it gave me a lower score than my opponent, but I still won. Happens plenty in my losing games where I score higher and my opponent scores lower, but my winning games I don't usually score lower. It's nice to have one work out on my side. I like that it's liking my adjustment moves here with the rook and pawns, though it didn't like that one. Ah, I didn't want to relieve pressure. It's suggesting moving the knight back to e7, but it's hard for me to relieve the tension on an attacked piece because that's, you know, it's also keeping his pieces from moving, and one of his pieces is a rook. Yeah, here, here it wanted me to just take, create a weakened pawn. Oh, right. When he moved back, I didn't register in my head that that attack, that moving the, yeah, this is removing the defender. And that was a bit clumsy. I didn't see the combinations here. I moved a little too quickly. I didn't really realize the danger. And then I just mixed up all my thoughts and moved the wrong piece. I keep saying play a, man, play a4. That was his blunder. What? Let's see. What did he need to do to defend? He needed king f1 now so he can get over and defend. That was the only move. Oh, right. I was thinking take the pawn, but the rook is pinned, so he actually has to take the rook. Oh, that would have been mate earlier. One move earlier, that would have been mate. I'm going to jump back to the puzzles. I haven't been doing enough puzzles, to be honest. I need to keep working at that and keep my mind fresh for tactics. I'm going to try and keep doing more. All right, so here we've got the black pieces. We've got a number of check possibilities. If we check, he can move over, check. We have to find the checkmate, though. The forced mate. All with checks. We got mate coming right here. So we don't have time to, say, move a rook over to the H file or try and promote this pawn or anything. If we move the rook up, then he can move down. So then he's trapped in there a bit, so then check. If he went attacking the rook, and there isn't an obvious check, so gotta rule out, I think, rook c2 check. And if it's not rook c2 check, you could have rook e4 check. You got a number of options in that case. This seems like it has to be the knight move. Check. We got four possible. Well, actually, no, not there. We've got two possible squares. If he moves it over to the rook, we can move the rook up for check. So that opens this square on d3. The knight and the rook will be defended. And check. Does have a square. Check. Oh man, what is it? Okay, I think it has to be the knight move first. Then he's attacking the rook. It has to be a rook. Like this has to be the only option. Now we've got actually now this rook is attacked, so you can't imagine you want to sack that. And you have to give check, so it has to be here. And then we can move the rook over. This is the only reasonable check left. Like we've got. Oh, and that was the other option. This is so far down the line, I couldn't calculate. It's. Do I have to sack a rook? I have no other way of giving check. Okay. I was expecting. I thought there had to be a checkmate there. Uh, what are the? No comments. All right. I got the obvious skewer here. Now we can get out of it with a check. Um, from there we could take the bishop, and then the bishop takes. We get two pieces for a rook. Oh, let's see. No, I want that. Yeah. Well, this looks threatening. Um, that's bait, isn't it? Am I? Oh, he can escape here. So that's not right. Ah, I looked at the wrong one. Ah. Okay, defended, defended, not defended. If he moves, then the rook's not defended. If the rook moves, the bishop's not defended. This bishop can move, but he gives check. Uh, what do I do here? Okay. Oh. Oh, this is cute. uh, threatened mate. I mean, that looks really, really good. Uh, oh, gotta remember, reverse the order. Oh, winning a piece. Winning a piece. Look for the better move. That's mate. Uh, oh, huh. I take so if you take pawn up, take this pawn's gonna promote. So I need to defend, and I need to just take that. Well, that'll attack the queen and defend the bishop. Um, Anything better? I mean, that's like my only even candidate move. Take, take, check, king. I'll find a way to. No, no. Apparently that's not right. Really? Oh, duh. Oh, I did retry. Whoops. Hmm. What we got? Push, push, take. So normally moving to d7 is a good option, but in this case, bishop e6 might be little ugly. D7 he can move back and just repeat, though. Can't move. Move up to e6, check. I mean, d7 is the only one where you can't check again with the knight, the bishop down, and then, huh. It can't be d8 because you just repeat if it's a winning position. E7 is check, can't move to f7. Doesn't want. Oh, right. You can take. I wasn't processing the king could then take after the bishop check. I don't understand this puzzle. I don't understand this puzzle. Oh, right. That's still sitting there. And a lot going on. That would attack the queen, but the queen could then check. Threats here. Also protecting from check on g6. And tough finding something forcing. Oh, we've. Oh man, I think my brain's about done. So I was looking at moving the pawn, but there, it doesn't register to me what that's actually accomplishing. And then, like, I don't. What? Oh, right. That was the first thing I was looking at because it actually has the mate threat. And then I looked at everything else and completely forgot that was there. I just want to close out on one correct puzzle answer. We got, some pressure here, but, got defenders. Lots of defenders. Now there's a check. Bishop can take. Knight. Queen doesn't get me anywhere. Check. Knight trading off doesn't really help. Yeah, I think I'm all out of juice. I'm not seeing these. Just looking at like every check capture threat just doesn't seem to be very good. This knight. Something with this knight. Well, I mean, only four options. That seems ridiculous. That can't be good. Um, this is a check, and then the bishop just takes it, and then what? What? What was the bishop doing differently? I mean, it gets out of the way of the queen, but like, is the queen sacking? Oh, because the pawn's pinned. Uh, I need to try and pay more attention to pawn pins. That's been a couple today where haven't noticed that that's happening until after. All right, shutting her down.